Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Check It Out here on the YouTube channel. I'm your host, as always, Scott Edwards. And this time around, we are talking the Marigold debut for the Joshi Puro Resu icon Mayu Iwatani, who stepped into the ring, a Marigold ring, for the very first time in her career at a Korakuen Hall that was screaming her name against Nanae Takahashi. Hello, everyone. This is coming just a few minutes after the match ended, after the show ended, and what an experience it was. It is one of the matches that I will truly, truly remember for a very, very long time. It will be one of my favorite matches, just personally, that I've watched because, in so many ways, it was a year in the making. And between Mayu and Nanai, it was 13 years in the making. And it felt like every step of the way they made up for lost time. If this is your first time watching a Check It Out, welcome. What we usually do, if it's a historic match, we'll go through the history and the story behind it. But the history and story behind this match is pretty simple. Mayu Iwatani obviously was not there for the beginning of Marigold, something that many believe she would have loved to do. So instead, she had an incredible year to cap off her stardom career, which of course ended at All Star Grand Queendom 2025 in front of a sold out 7,500 person arena at Yokohama Arena specifically, and then of course steps into Marigold just a week later. And as I sit here and I digest this match and digest the emotions that came with this match for myself, I walk away with such a great appreciation for these two wrestlers. It's not a shock, obviously, for myself that I watch a Mayu Iwatani match and I'm just blown away by what she brings to the table. But for the first time in a long time, she wasn't the senior of a match. For the first time in a long time, she was the underdog, and she served as the underdog. In so many of Mayu Iwatani's greatest matches, this is her role. The underdog that overcomes in the end, the underdog that takes a brutal beating and wins in the end. That's what this match was. It was Mayu going back to her roots and telling an incredible story within the squared circle, going back to her roots of being the icon, but never being the chosen one, rather just being the one who's overcome. And Nanae Takahashi, despite retiring as of 20 days from this recording, she just brings it. She just doesn't have an off switch. The fact that Nanai has to retire is obviously devastating, but it's on her own terms. But when you watch her and you watch Mayu in this match, you will be nothing but blown away at what they bring to the table. This was a old school, top of the line Korakuen Hall main event for Joshi Pro Wrestling. This was something that reminded me of the matches that made me fall in love with Joshi. And it is going to be a match that I will recommend to anyone to get the full experience of Mayu Iwatani, because not only do you get the underdog-esque part of having to fight back and having to battle, you also get the violence. You also get the beauty of pro wrestling. You get everything that makes it great. I'm no doubt going to be the highest person in the world on this match. Would you expect anything else from me if you know me? But here's the thing, this is a match that she was waiting for. This is a match that I was waiting for. And this is a match that I'm sure much of Marigold and its fans were waiting for. And as she made her entrance with tears in her eyes, I couldn't help but get emotional myself, because there's an appreciation for the wrestler, but there's also an appreciation for the person. And this is something, obviously, that has been an emotional ride for Mayu Iwatani, who, by the way, if you haven't watched the match yet, came out to a remixed version of her normal theme song. So there's hope that her big match theme will also be remixed in some form. But just watching Mayu make her way to the ring and have her entrance and the sheer happiness that she had both pre-match and post-match. It's something I will remember because again, the beauty of pro wrestling is the emotion, is the connection that you can have. And again, and I'll say this and I'll say it again and I'll say it again, whether you are on this channel for the first time, uh, the 100th time, whatever it may be, you know how my feelings towards Mayu as a wrestler, as a competitor. She is just someone that I truly, truly, truly do see as the greatest of all time. And it's a performance like this that just reminds you she is that special. Um, Shout out to the incredible crowd here. It was mixed. It was full of legitimately passion fans that were so into this match. They were here for this match. And while people will talk about whatever they want when it comes to Marigold, this is the purpose. When you watch this match, you remember why Joshi wrestling can be so special and why Joshi wrestling, especially over this past week, has been so special. I said to myself watching this match, this is very likely how the Tam Nakano diehards felt watching um, this final run for her in many ways. Not because this is Mayu's final run, but rather the emotion and the importance and the love that you can have for such a match and such a performance. And that's obviously what a lot of people connected to as Tam Nakano fans. And for me, it's what I connect to as a Mayu fan. Last week, watching the match between her and Shuri was a different experience. That was obviously a phenomenal match. And at the time, one of my favorite matches, if not my match of the year. But watching this one, it was a different level because a lot of it was happiness, but a lot of it was also being a bit scared, being a bit worried. That's again the beauty of Mayu Iwatani, and that's the reason I do these videos, right? It's called Check It Out for a reason, after all.
Check it out.
And when I watch her perform, and when I watch Nanae perform, I'm just blown away at what they did. It had so many signature Mayu moments from, just falling over on accidents in the crowd to falling down the stairs to just using that fighting spirit that has driven her to greatness through the years. She's just sensational. And the beauty of what Mayu brings to the table is she's going to elevate everything. What you saw in real time within this match and this show as a whole is her presence elevates everything. She just does that naturally. And there's a reason this match was the perfect first match for Mayu because in many ways what Nanae has done for the first year of Marigold is what Mayu will do moving forward. Nanae raised the bar, right? Nanae, no matter what, when she had a match, she went out there and put every bit of passion into that match. Now Mayu is going to do the same. I saw a lot of people say, oh, this is Mayu had an incredible past year, but this is Mayu Iwatani at her greatest. And that's I think the unbelievable ability of Mayu as a whole is that she has so many levels as a professional wrestler that when you watch a match like this, you're just reminded of the level she can go to, especially when she's in this role. Uh, Looking back at the match itself and the moves and everything that happened, there's nothing that's going to be repeated or remembered more than the devastating headbutt where Nanae was on the top rope and Mayu hit her square in the skull with the nastiest shoot headbutt I've heard in some time. And I often think of the one from between Sari and Veni from the incredible tag match last year. I don't let that one go, but this one it just echoed and it's still echoing in my head. Shoot headbutts are terrifying, they're nasty. You just you just worry about the health of the wrestlers automatically, but my god, once you know all that's all clear, you'll never forget them because of how insane they truly are. These two beat the hell out of each other. They had the Nanai match, they had the Mayu match all mixed into one. And the beauty of this match was again, raising the bar for Marigold. The beauty of this match was raising the bar for everyone around you because Nanae has not lost a lot over the past year. I think her one singles loss, not in the um, Dream Start, was to Utami Hayashishita. I don't remember. I know. Oh, I think Bozilla beat her, but like other than that, Nanae doesn't really lose, and especially here on her retirement road, she hasn't lost. Like this has been a road of greatness for Nanae, right? Twin Star champion, having these incredible tag team matches, and now she steps into the ring for a big time singles against Mayu Iwatani, the one that she calls the crying girl from the last time, right when Mayu was coming up in the world of professional wrestling, and Nanai was her trainer and the person, and her senior in many ways. That was also the beauty of this match and the post match and everything about it. This meant so much to not only Mayu but to Nanai. It felt like Nanai seeing Mayu show up, and she felt everything's going to be okay. I'm going to be able to retire. I'm going to be able to hang up my boots and call it a career. And Marigold's going to be just fine because why? Because Mayu Iwatani is here to bring us forward. Mayu Iwatani is here to carry us. And this scene where they're holding hands at the end, it's beautiful. It's perfect. It's again everything you want in a moment like this, in a match like this. I I don't know if there's going to be a match, and I said this literally a week ago watching Mayu and Shuri. I said to myself, I don't know if there's going to be a match that has me so emotionally locked in as that one. And I said that months ago when I talked about Starlight Kid versus Rena. But when I watched this one, it was just different. It was happiness. It was just every bit of emotion you could feel, but most of all, it was pure joy at what these two created in the ring. It was simply phenomenal. It was simply everything that you want to see from two all-time greats, including who I again firmly believe to be the greatest of all time. Mayu Iwatani brought everything and more. She didn't have to hit the two steps. She ultimately hit a hurricanrana to steal the win. And in many ways, it was such a perfect way to win. Because again, this is her beating Nanae Takahashi, someone that she has long respected, has long had care for. And that's what you saw at the end of that match. This was a passing of the baton, torch, whatever you want to call it, in terms of being that top star, of being the one that sets the bar for the rest of the roster. This wasn't just Mayu Iwatani showing up. This wasn't just the icon showing up. This was the savior. This was the ace. This was the face of the company arriving in full force in one of the greatest matches that this company has seen. In my opinion, the greatest match this company has seen. Because again, that's what she's here to do. You guys have done this over the first year, and it's been a very solid first year, I have to say. There's been ups and downs, as you'd expect from a promotion with so many green wrestlers, but this is where we want to go. This match, this feeling, this energy in Korakuen Hall, this is where we want to go, and this is where we're going to go. This is where we're going to get to. And again, that is the beauty of what these two brought to the table. I can't say enough good things about this match. I can't say enough good things about these two wrestlers as a whole. There was not a better opponent, a better matchup for Mayu Iwatani to enter the Marigold ring against than Nanae Takahashi. And seeing them and seeing Mayu send off Marigold, and it was just special. Shine forever, Marigold, passion. It was a way for them to kick off year 2 and beyond for this company. Obviously, Shine Forever will be their official anniversary show, but in many ways for me, because of Korakuen Hall being the home of their first show last year, for Margot Fields Forever and Mayu walking into the company when she did. This felt like the end of a first year, beginning of the second year. Now we go. Now we start. I had to record this because it's going to be some time before I get to record my official review of the whole show, which I did think it was a great show. You can check that out on Friday's 5-Star Joshi show. but I just needed to get my full authentic thoughts out on a match that is going to mean so much to me as a wrestling fan, as someone who, for the most part, outside of really Mayu and the recent build for Stardom and maybe the Marigold Marvelous stuff, like other than those stuff, I've had a disconnection. I'd even say from wrestling in some ways outside of the excitement that went into um All Star Grand Queendom and everything Mayu does. But this raised the spirits for myself and hopefully for many others, because this is what pro wrestling is all about to me. This is why Joshi wrestling is far and away the best bit of wrestling anywhere in the world. There's nothing that reaches the pinnacle of Joshi to me, and this to me was that level, that pinnacle level that you strive for. Just a phenomenal match, a phenomenal night, a phenomenal moment. I applaud everyone involved. I hope everyone in Marigold continues to work like this and push forward and put in their best efforts. They're all going to grow. They're all going to continue together, and it's all going to be with Mayu as the leader, as the face of the company. And that's going to be the beauty of the story moving forward. But to end this the right way, not only should you check this match out, you should please like, subscribe, and let me know what your thoughts on their match were as Mayu starts this newest chapter in the greatest way possible. Only Mayu Iwatani can have that match against Shuri last week, her final starter match, and then come into Marigold and have this match. You couldn't have picked a more perfect first opponent. You couldn't have picked a more perfect venue for it. This felt special. It was special, and I hope and I believe it's the beginning of something special. But Mayu Iwatani, that is the greatest of all time. Nanae Takahashi can still absolutely bring it to the very end. It's probably my match of the year, folks. I know, not a surprise, but listen, when you can connect to something like I did to this, you get it. I know a lot of people have done that. I know a lot of people have probably done that recently, especially with Tam and Saya Kamatani, which is again another emotional match. And they're both very different, but also very similar. In one way, that was the end, and this is the beginning of something new. So, thank you everyone for listening to this latest video. Um, and if you continue to listen to me, it means the world. I've done so much audio this week. I've done so many podcasts. I've done so many different things, but I had to do this one. I had to get my thoughts out on this one because it really meant a lot to me. So thank you, everyone. Before we go, if you want, you can hear my authentic thoughts after Mayu Iwatani signed with Marigold right here on the YouTube channel. That is currently up and available to go. You can also check out the 5-star Joshi show, which was posted on Friday. That still has plenty. It talks about Mayu joining the company. It talks about Mako Satomura and Tam Nakano's retirements. And coming soon, I do plan to have a Tam Nakano legacy video right here on the YouTube channel. Well, from my point of view, we'll talk about her legacy in Stardom and her career in full force. We'll see when that comes together. I want to put the right work into it. I want to rewatch some things, but I will be putting that together. So thank you everyone for listening. As always, I'll be back later this week with more content as always. If not another video, then definitely the 5-star Joshi show on Friday. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening. And until next time, everyone, so long. See ya. Passion.